Hello, welcome to this small video. In just a few days we are starting Floral March, and if you haven't heard about that yet, it's a 31-day drawing challenge, and Floral March is of course filled with spring flowers, so many different ones, pansies and freesias and bluebells and magnolias. I am super excited about this. And one of the things that are super exciting about a drawing challenge is that you can actually really just dive into exploration and exploring your own style. I'm very much into line and wash, and oh, sorry, squeaky chair. Sorry. I'm very much into line and wash, and I'm filming this video course that to go with the prompt list, and I do one video a day because I want to get into this intuitive way of painting, because I want to explore my own style as well through these videos, and I absolutely love that, and I think it's working so well. When you're not overthinking it, I actually just do it as one of the first things in the morning, and one video every day. They're all different, and I love it, and that's what all of this is. It's just the beginning. So I wanted to show you a few ways you can kind of explore, and some few ways I've done throughout these videos, so you can kind of see that it's not just line first or watercolor first, but you can do so many things with this, and just have fun with it. And I went into the garden to pick a small snowdrop, so that we have something to kind of just use as a reference, and let's dive in. So we have our reference, and we can take a look at that. The first way there's so many ways of doing this, but the first way that comes kind of natural to me is a pencil sketch first. So, and we're going to do this pretty quick. So just here it's a great thing that this is a simple flower, so you can just kind of, that's why I chose it actually, because we can kind of just work with the approach and not so much the shape. There's some flowers in Floral March that are where the shape is quite a lot more challenging, and that is on purpose, because we want to challenge ourselves during this challenge. So we have the pencil first, and then of course we can go in with the fine liner and outline it if we want that. And that is kind of the most classical approach, and of course we can go in and add details, detail lines to kind of show the shape, and then of course watercolor. But this is kind of the most safe way, because we have this, so we can do our sketch until we just like it, and we can use that, and of course we can always erase before we add any fine liner or watercolor. So that is kind of a safe way to go, and maybe a great place to start. An approach I've actually used quite a lot during these videos is where you start with your fine liner and just kind of go quick, almost like you're not lifting the pencil or the fine liner at all. So just kind of going with a very quick sketch, seeing how that takes you. And okay, maybe this is not exactly like I've been doing it, but just kind of going with the flow of it, and seeing if you can create something very loose. And when we have 31 days, We want some of them to probably be really quick and some of them to be really fast or slow. So I am showing you different approaches. For example, this one, the Lenten Rose, took I think half an hour to make, and this was a very intricate pencil sketch first, and after that fine liner and watercolor. But for example, this one was a lot looser, the Magnolia, and you can see how they have a very different feel and look to it. And of course you can right now purchase this course at a early bird price. It ends February 29th. So pencil first, where you just kind of control it a lot, or or fine liner first, and even in a very loose style. Then of course we can go with something. Oh, look how it's opening up while we are standing here. That is really cool. Then we can of course explore a lot more with watercolor first as well. And here we can go in with, we could actually go with something very loose, where we kind of just paint around it maybe, and freeing up some that white flower. So we're just kind of painting around the flower itself, creating this shape in a negative style, and then we can just add details with the fine liner afterwards. And I think this is actually working out. And here you can just explore with the wash. Or you could go in a more controlled way, using the more controlled wet on dry technique, where you just, let's see, you can actually almost just, it's like almost like sketching just with your brush, taking it. This might be easier with some of the other flowers, because a white flower can be tricky. But we know that we are adding some details with the fine liner, so it is completely fine. Ooh, loving that. I think this is actually going to be really pretty. Might have been a little bit too wet, so just adding a little bit more water so we can kind of push back some of the greens. See if that works. So all very different approaches, and you can actually apply, I think I'm going to show you that as well. We can apply the water in different ways, or the watercolor in different ways. We can just put it on wet on wet here, or wet on dry. And we can even have fun with something like splattering it on. So just splattering water here. And now I'm just going to do that with green. See how that, ooh, that is pretty. I love how it spreads. It's so cute. And I think I'm gonna put in a little bit of Payne's Gray here. Yes, so we kind of get that color that is actually on the snowdrop, but in a much more subtle way and a lot more expressive watercolor style. So I think that is really cool. And I want to show you the bluebell I created for the course. Look at that, where it's the sketch is actually quite simple, but the background is really crazy, and that those blue colors are just exploding and creating this movement because I was lifting and twisting and turning the paper. So that's a different way of approaching how to apply the water. And really, this is the kind of the way to do it, but also playing around with it and not being scared of it, because when we have 31 days, you can definitely play around and just have fun with it and explore. So it doesn't really matter if something turns out differently than we wanted. I also kind of want this to be a little bit different, so we can just explore and have fun with it. And it doesn't matter, because we're just going to try again tomorrow. So if it doesn't turn out the way you want it, then that is completely fine. We all have ups and downs, and that will always happen in a drawing challenge. So just have fun with it and see where it takes you. Now I'm just going to turn off the video for a little second to dry off this paper, and I'll come back to you. Now it's dry, and I just wanted to add a little bit of detail here, just because that is a lot of fun. So now it's actually quite open, this reference. So I'm not using this as a reference so that much. Maybe actually for this one. Let's see how that would go. So we can just kind of see, that is what I mean by just going with the inspiration. So we can kind of just see what's in front of us and do how we feel called to. That's exactly what I did when I filmed the video course. And of course you don't have to follow the video course. It's a great way to kind of get inspired and keep motivation all through the month. But if you can totally do it by yourself as well. And you can find the reference, or not the reference, the prompt list in my on Instagram and on the link here below the video. Ooh, look at that. It turned out you could do it just by looking at what's in front of you. I like that. Just going to put in a few lines here, just to show the direction. And here I would also, maybe if you wanted to go even further, you could start by, you can go in and do some wet on dry as well to add those marks here and there. And this one I can just go add a few petals here. I have one here at the back. So you can see how these are very different approaches, and you never know what will come until you sit down with your reference. If it's an image or if it's a real flower, it all depends on your inspiration and the mood you're in today. I'm gonna put in a few details here. So that is it. I am going to switch the camera just a second to show you how to, or tell you a little bit about how to be prepared for Floral March, so you are certain to know how to kind of approach this when we get there in a few days. That was a bit of exploration in just line and wash in different ways, and I hope you got inspired by that, and you can see how much you can vary it. So it's not just line or wash first, but really just have fun with it and stick to this. And if you want to make sure to kind of stick to this fun exploration drawing challenge, I want you to do a few things ahead of the challenge. I want you to gather your supplies, super important. I think tomorrow I'll do a supply video so you can actually see what I am using, and you can get inspired by that. Make sure to gather your references. If you're following the video course, of course, I will give you the references, but make sure you have them ready to go so it's super easy to get started each day. And then I actually recommend doing a little bit of trial and error beforehand, just to kind of get into some of the main techniques, just trying to see how it works with line first, watercolor first, and then when we get started on Friday, you will be all set to experiment and have fun. So if you're interested in the video course right now, ending on February 29th, there's an early bird price. It goes up, and at the end of March it will not be available to purchase any longer. So it's just once a year offer. And yes, that is it. Of course, I hope you will join, and let me know in the comments if you are. And post on Instagram. Use the hashtag Floral March 2024 so I can see it. And I can't wait. I'm so excited about this. It's gonna be an incredible month. So hopefully I will see you there. Have a wonderful day, and bye.